guys. Doing a little drive along conversation we'll have here about what's been going on over here in KLC world and what I've been up to as far as trades, buys, sells, fixes, work, pretty much everything. As you know, I'm always making changes and making moves. As far as an update on the Walker mower, we have the mechanics part of it, basically everything but the cosmetics all finished. It is running. I believe I started it up on video already, so you've probably seen that. I was looking for a used body shell, the hood basically, because I was trying to weigh my options whether or not I wanted to actually cut out and replace some of the metal where the rot was. Not a big deal, but if I could have found one where I didn't have to worry about that, you know, it would have saved me a couple hours worth of time and labor. It would have been worth it for, you know, a couple $100 or whatever, or maybe even picking up a whole nother used machine that could be a good parts machine, or maybe another project for another time, who knows. But I was waiting for hearing back from my local dealer, who was going to check and see if he had anything in his pile, which he did. He offered for me to go down. Really nice guy, local Walker dealer. I call him local. It's almost an hour from me, but it's about the closest. I have two Walker dealers nearby in opposite directions, about the same distance from each other. One's farther in distance, but it's on the highway, so you can get there in about the same time as the one that is closer distance, but you have to drive down, you know, 40-mile-per-hour road as opposed to a highway to get there. So anyways, and I was weighing whether I should go down there, and he offered to let me pick through his Walker junkyard, and said it basically hooked me up with a whole machine or whatever that I might need just to have for parts in the future. Basically, he kind of just wanted $500, and you know, it'd make it well worth my money type of thing. So $500 obviously is a figure to make it worth his while to, you know, to even deal with it, rather than, you know, picking apart small items. You know, who wants to deal with that? He's got better things to do with his time. So certainly fair enough, and I for my $500, I'm sure I would get a ton of usable stuff. I know it'd be more than generous. If it was the beginning of my Walker project, I would have jumped all over it, because I'm sure I would have swapped out a lot of parts and you know, saved myself some time, and, you know, maybe chose the best pieces I could get as part of my whole process and redoing. But I'm at the end of it now, and literally the only part that I need or can justify needing is that hood piece. So that's kind of put me on hold with that whole project for a little while. I am going to need the mower in as soon as 2 weeks, so I am going to get back in gear on that quickly. The other thing I was going to do is possibly bring that whole shell, which I'm talking about, the you know, basically the yellow Walker shell that the seat bolts to, the whole you know, body of the machine that hinges up. Behind it, where the seat mounts, is some rot holes, and, you know, which I've known it's been happening. I think it was almost rotted when I got it. You know, and it's basically nothing. It's not even really structural. It's just kind of empty space. But you know, where I've gone to a certain level in the machine, I'm not putting that back on it. So without repairing it first. So I was going to bring it down to my my buddy who does pressure washing. He's got one of those you know, the water glass bead or whatever it is, the dustless blasting, that's what it is. He's got one of those, like, franchise business. I don't think he's actually in the franchise, but he copied the whole dustless blasting system and built his own trailer system, and he's been doing that for many years, you know, making money doing that, as well as other projects. But I can certainly have anything I need blasted at a good rate from him. So I was going to drop off the hood to him and have him blast it, just as a nice blank sheet of metal to work with. Make it that much easier when I'm welding and grinding and stuff, not burning paint off and all that, and less prep when it comes down to painting it. So but he was in the middle of some other stuff too. So long story short is I think I'm just going to stick with my original plan, and I am going to cut out some of the broken metal or the rotted metal, weld in some new pieces, give it a good sanding and a painting, and put the new decals on, which I've already got the decals, which I would have had to put on no matter what I did. So I kind of have the decision now, so maybe next week I'll get going on that and get back on that project. So you know, that's pretty much all of my unknowns have been taken care of, so I haven't really been too concerned about that. In the meanwhile, I've been playing out the whole season with mulch season upon us. I do a ton of mulch, basically I think we got it done in 2 months last season because numbers were down with the whole COVID situation, and I don't know what to expect this season. But we still have at least a good 2 months solid with one crew of doing mulching and edging jobs, and the only dumping mechanism that I have right now for any volume is my dump trailer, which is 15-yard dump trailer. It's a 14-foot high side dump trailer, which is great, but that is also the same trailer that I move my mower around with and my Bobcat around with. So I know there would be a conflict at some point where that trailer is going to be full of debris, going to be full of branches, going to be full of mulch, going to be on a job, whatever the case is, where I might want to move my Bobcat and not be able to. So I've been in the lookout for a fairly inexpensive secondary trailer. I was looking for an equipment / car trailer because I still always pick up trucks and cars on the side. So another thing that I can't do with the dump trailer because it's not big enough to fit a car. I mean, maybe you could fit a small car in it, but I wouldn't do that. So another long story shorter, I searched for a equipment trailer that I wanted at least 10,000 pound GVW, at least hopefully 16 feet, so it would be of size to put a truck or a car on. 14 foot I probably could have got away with, but 16 foot was preferable, or larger. And after looking at a couple and searching, the prices, by the way, in the used market are ridiculous. Everything is selling very expensive, as well as new is even kind of up there. But there's also not many new items for sale. A lot of people are buying them up, so maybe that's why the used market is so well. But I did find a good deal on a very used Big Tex 18-foot equipment trailer that is 14,000 GVW. Good solid trailer. It's a, don't know if I mentioned it yet, 18-foot. The deck is starting to break apart. It's got some holes in the decking. It's still usable as it is. I could throw a couple of pieces of plywood and screw it down to the existing decking and use it uncompromised for, you know, a time period if I wanted. I don't know what I'm going to do as far as the decking yet. As I said, it does work the way it is. It does have holes in it, but they're not really in a place that's that big of a deal. You can still load up a car, and certainly my machine that has tracks, because, you know, it spreads the weight of the machine over the tracks, and there's really no way for, you know, the holes aren't that big yet where it's an issue. So I can use it as is, and that allows me the flexibility to be able to move my machine around on jobs that I may not need to bring materials to or from or haul away. So it just gives me that flexibility, and I picked it up for probably a third of the price of a new one. Maybe a little more than a third of the price of a new one would cost me if I was to buy it today. So it is used. It does have some, you know, welding's been fixed on it. The lights are a little banged up, this and that. Somebody built some homemade ramp setup on it, which is a little it's not janky, it's actually pretty strong, but it's kind of overbuilt. It's got some, you know, pipes and stuff. They actually work well, so I'm kind of just leaving it on for now before I get caught into another project. It's the beginning of the season. The last thing I need to do is get caught up in a trailer restoration project. But the frame and everything is very rust-free and solid. It's got really good tires on it, brakes, the lights, everything all works on it. It's a functioning trailer for cheap, and that's what I bought it for. I just put a winch on it, which is nice to have for picking up anything that's not running, or if something breaks down, whatever, you can pull it up on the trailer. So I got that all set up, and that trailer is pretty much ready to go. I'm actually going down to pick up the Bobcat right now and try it for the first time. I'm gonna go try to pull a stump out on one of my customers that's had a stump for a couple of years, really hasn't been in a hurry. It's a tree that fell in their backyard, and whenever I had the time, they said, could you go ahead and remove it? So I'm gonna try out the new stump bucket and see if we can't pull that out of the ground. So this will be a good test for the stump bucket as well as the trailer, and that's what I'm doing right now. So that's what you'll see in the video later on in this video, the trailer that I picked up and what I'm using for the Bobcat for the time. I do still have the dump trailer, and I will still be using it for the Bobcat, but anytime that I can use just the open trailer, it's a lot easier to chain the machine down to. I've got more room for the attachments. I also did get my forks finally in. I don't think I've put that in video yet. I might have put something on Instagram, and I will show you those as well. My local Bobcat dealer that was giving me the forks as part of my purchase of my used Bobcat was having a hard time getting the uprights for the forks, the you know, the frame, not the actual fork part. I guess they had plenty of those, so they ended up I had to wait for some time period, and they still weren't able to find them. So they actually went with an aftermarket company. I think it's Blue Diamond is the company name, and they got me a set from that company, or the upright, and put their OEM style Bobcat forks. I'll show you here on the uprights. Here's the trailer, by the way, that I bought. I just set up this winch with a removable mount on it so I can pull it off and put it in the truck when not in use, which will be really nice. I actually got that open box at Harbor Freight. It's the ZXR 1200. And then I bought the mount. The whole thing with the mount and everything, open box, was like 270 bucks. I had some Harbor Freight bucks from other purchases that I bought, so that was like $65. So the whole thing was like 250 bucks. And I think it's normally $399. This is the heaviest winch that they sell, I believe. But I got it all hooked up and working. I don't have a battery supply yet, so I can either run it off jumpers, or I may add a battery, mount a battery over here on the trailer. But here's the holes in the trailer. As you can see, it's pretty ugly. This is the only one that's in an area that's kind of any concern, but you know, I can stick a plank on it for now or whatever. It actually still does have a good amount of strength to it. There's just some parts that have broken through. Some really good tires on it, you know, a little rusty on the wheels. Perfect trailer to put a new deck on and give it a fresh coat of paint. Again, 18 foot, 14,000 GVW, really nice heavy duty trailer. Needs a little welding on the fenders and whatnot, but for the price I got it, I'll take it. These are these ramps, like I said. It's some type of little hinge mechanism that somebody made up, some serious steel here. Definitely adding a ton of weight in my opinion. I think I'd rather just use the ramps off of my dump trailer and attach them, but these do work for now. They're kind of just smooth bottomed, so they're on here. I'm gonna use them for the time being and see if there's anything redeeming about them. Unfortunately, when they fold down, they do take up space on the trailer, so I don't know how that's gonna be an issue if I end up having to rig them, you know, tie them up. I don't know yet. So just got this, got the lights working, got it registered. I'm waiting for the plate to come in the mail. So I do have my registration papers and everything, so hopefully I don't get pulled over in the next day or two until they come in the mail, but it is registered. So we're going to go ahead and hook up, pintle hitch, and load up the machine. These are the new forks I picked up. I was just talking to you about. This is the upright, and the forks themselves are actually Bobcat new ones. So my dealer not being able to get this upright being Bobcat, they were able to get me these. I said that's fine, I don't need them to be genuine Bobcat, I just need a set of forks really bad, because that's a great function. So I now have brand new set of forks. I have a brand new bucket, which both of those I ended up getting along with the machine in the purchase price. And then I also have the stump bucket, which is over with my plow over there, that is also brand new. So building up the attachments. I'd like to get a brush mower, I think, too, is one of my things that I want to get on my list pretty soon. But let's go ahead and hook up this trailer and let's get loaded up and see how this trailer works for the Bobcat. See if I can find a good place for you. Here's a look at these ramps. I'm not sure what to think of them yet. They certainly are quite a big chunk of metal. They're surprisingly not that heavy for what they look like. So I don't know if I like them or not yet. They seem to work pretty well. So I'm definitely going to see how it goes. Like we're missing a pin here. That's not very safe. And yeah, we're definitely going to be any of these loose pieces I want to make sure aren't going to fall off on the road. But we'll definitely be putting a new deck on it pretty soon, I think. Or like I said, at the worst case I could throw some plywood on it. Until I decide to replace it. I think that might be an alright option. But what I'm hoping to do is I want to carry all the attachments with me if I can, because you never know when you're going to need a set of forks or you know, a grapple or whatever on the job. So I've thought this through, and I'm thinking that if I load up the forks on one side so I can connect them right here, right, you know, with the machine from the side, and then the grapple bucket on the other side, the grapple kind of has that center piece on it, and the forks are spread out so they'll fit within each other. And then you know, the two sides I can connect onto from here or this side with the Bobcat, and then come up with a nice system to tie them down. I can kind of just leave those on the front of the trailer, load the machine up on here with the bucket, and be able to have all my attachments with me. You know, the common ones anyways, because they're always nice to have on a job. So that was another reason it's nice to have that extra length that you know, the 18-foot, as well as for cars and trucks and things like that you might need a longer trailer for. gonna work out all right. Get some really nice straps and get those strapped in really well so they're always there if I need them, and I'm able to grab those attachments whenever I need them. Kind of a good home for them. They can stay on the trailer. The only time I'll need to take them off is if I need to use the trailer for like a car or whatever. And I think position wise and everything, that's going to be pretty good right there for the tongue weight. Those ramps worked out well. I like how they kind of just fold right into the bucket like that. You can kind of throw a strap over those ramps and also holding the bucket down at the same time, and then strap the machine in. Looks like these rings all might be in a good position to tie it down. So yeah, I mean, if these end up working out, maybe I will keep them. I can always straighten out this metal and give them a good coat of the POR 15 and, you know, a coat of black paint, and they'll look a ton better if they weren't just rusty or primer or whatever the hell they are. Who knows, maybe I'll keep them. But these are the ugliest lights. I don't know who in the world thought it was a good idea to make your lights. First of all, I don't know why they need to be two. You only need one light on either side there. I don't know why they think it's a good idea to have those things hanging down. Like, anybody knows that when you're backing into things, unloading, loading and everything, that's like a wicked important area that you end up whacking rocks and curbs and all kinds of stuff. So no surprise that somebody's re-welded these multiple times. So those are going to get cut off. I don't know if I'm just going to chop those in half and just use the one light like it needs, or if I'm going to get some new lights. I'd like to get some nice LEDs on here and get them in a position where they're not going to break off, because that's just ridiculous. Like, who thought that was a good idea? Makes no sense. Luckily they are pretty strongly mounted on there, it looks. Maybe not. Those could definitely get a good bend to them if you hit them just right. But as you can see, somebody's added all kinds of serious connections to. Here's the fender, I gotta re-weld that. You know, it needs some attention, but again, at a third the price of a new one, I'll put a little work into it, and it's usable now. Somebody welded all these pockets on. I mean, they're welded really, really strong. So I don't know if I'm going to keep those or not. That's another thing I see a lot of people doing, is they'll have it so you can slide your forks right under the front of the trailer. Looks like I wouldn't be able to do that here with that A-frame there. I'd probably have to like put a couple of slots in the metal to be able to slide the forks in, but I don't think I'm going to go through all that, which keeps them off the deck so you can carry your forks with you. I mean, the other option is when I don't have this on here, this isn't going to live here, it's just on here for now, I could have the forks turned so that is in the front and the forks go that way, and then it doesn't really take up any trailer space at all, and they can just live on there that way, and then you know, just put this on as I need. I don't know, we'll figure it out. I'm pretty much just rambling, but yeah, this is a seriously heavy-duty trailer. If you look at the way this thing's built, it's got some seriously big steel, a nice pintle on it, and not rusty at all. You know, I mean, it's got some rust on it, but it's not like rotted or anything like that. Never has been, and hasn't been like repaired. It's a 1999 big Tex trailer originally is what it was. It's got these really good size good tires on it. These are properly rated. I looked them up earlier, but yeah, 16-inch 235 tires, and they are rated at 6,000 pounds. No, that can't be, that's too much. I don't know where it is, but they're sufficiently rated for the trailer that they're on with the 8 lugs. But yeah, so my plan with this will probably be to replace the deck maybe in the summer when business starts to slow down a little bit, and I'm probably going to repaint the wheels, and I'll repaint them silver like the dump trailer. So we'll go with a nice black coat of paint on the trailer with silver wheels so it more matches that. And as I'm using it throughout the next couple of months, I'll see what is or isn't functional with what's on here. And I may remove some of the shit that doesn't need to be on here, you know, just to simplify it and lighten the load. The more stuff you have on here, the less you can actually carry on the trailer. So it just makes no sense to add any weight that you don't need. So, but yeah, that's what I've been up to and what the plan is. So let's get on to, I'm gonna get this tied down and we're going to get to the job. All right guys, all strapped up here. Definitely gonna have to work on the best way to strap this down. I just did it the way that worked for now. I actually have an extra chain that I could have used because I didn't need chains. This is actually the perfect position to connect these directly, which I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be able to do that or not, because I know that you're going to want to screw this in a certain amount to engage so many threads. I mean, this is halfway screwed in, so I know it's secure, but I don't know what the law is on that, if I can connect direct to the machine and to the tie down point without a chain, or how that works. But she's solid. I got this chain connected to the center point on both sides. I got a flip type of binder here. I need another binder for that side because I believe I need a binder on all four sides. I'm just going literally a mile down the road, so I'm not concerned about it at this point, but I do want to do it properly. So I got those two chains and I got three binders, so I need one more. I think I'm just going to end up doing, I'm going to cut up one of my chains to have smaller sections, so I literally just have dedicated chains from each of the four corners to connect to this machine, rather than lugging around such a long chain. I've gone through so many different variations of how I tie things down, and then I don't really like these straps because technically, I guess once they get any phrase on them, it's supposed to be garbage. I'm using them to hold down something that they're way overpowered to actually have to hold down, so they're going to be fine. And I got two straps on them. You know, this stuff is solid as can be. It's not going anywhere, but I think maybe a chain or some type of better system might be in order for this. So do a little research online and see what people are doing for tying down attachments, because I would like to be able to have a really nice secure system that's legal, that's quick and easy to do, which is hard to get all of that, I know, but it's worth the time and effort for me to get everything set up. I do like the tie down spots and where everything's laid out on this so far. It was able to accommodate what I needed. So let's get on the road. All right, we made it on site here. This should be familiar to any of you guys who've been watching my channel for a little while. My $2,600 little project Bobcat that I had. That was the first job I did with it. We dug that out and put some shelves in, extended this driveway. Used to just stop at the corner of the garage here, and the reason that they wanted to do that was to be able to fit this boat in the off season, and looks like it worked out well. So these are this one, actually, I believe they sold the house. I don't think I have it anymore, but this is one of my lawns. I installed this, put up the fence, and did a bunch of work here a couple years back. This is one of my lawns that I mow as well. Haven't really done any work here yet. He does need some work. We're going to do some shrub work in the front of the house this season. And then this lawn here, I also mow. This is the walkway on the channel that I did last season. I also put the lawn in a few years back. And this is the one with the stump that we're going to try to pull out. There used to be a fence out here, which he just took out, which is quite interesting. Definitely a different look here than what it was. It's the first time I've seen it. But here's the walkway we put in last year. As you can see, she's holding nice, looking good through our winter season here. Let's take a walk around. It's been doing a lot of work here, taking out a lot of trees. So I'm sure we got a lot of work to come here. But this lawn install did come out good. It's been we've been taking care of it, and of course it looks dormant right now because it's the off season, but hoping the machine does as little damage as possible. It's going to dig up some, and I'm going to have to do a repair where I dig this out just from the tracks moving back and forth. There's actually two things I want to take care of while I'm here. Oh, it appears that one of them's already been taken care of. There was a small little stump here that used to be in the way of mowing. I actually think it was right here. Yeah, right there. Looks like it's already been pulled out. But this is the, oh geez, I didn't realize there was a tree attached to it still. I thought this was cut off. I don't have a saw with me. So this is the tree that fell basically in the neighbor's yard some years ago, and it uprooted right here. So my idea was, the lawn's already kind of patchy here anyway, so we can come in and reloam this area. But as I come in with the machine and kind of dig away at this, it's going to mess up the lawn around here. There's no doubt about it. But I want to take the stump bucket and see if we can't move this around and see if we can't free it up. That's a pretty good sized tree. For comparison, there's my hand, so it's probably, I would say, 20 inches in diameter. It's a pretty good sized tree, but it did uproot, so that leads me to believe that the root system is probably not that great. So we'll see. Again, I thought all this time, I never really looked, I guess, but I thought this was all cut off and this tree was removed, and it was just the stump that was left here after it fell. I didn't realize there was still a 10-foot section attached to it, or maybe an 8-foot section. So that is going to have to be cut and removed. But I'm here with the machine. Let's bring it in and see if I can, at the very least, knock this off and dig it down and see what we can get down to here. Hopefully we can get it maybe loose. I don't know, maybe I'm able to lift the whole thing up with the machine. I doubt it. If it didn't have that on it, I'd be able to grab it with the grapple. But find a good place for you guys with the camera, and we'll see what we can do here.